Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Yesterday, a part of our community passed away. Vijay, he was struggling for a long time, and yesterday his struggle ended. Keeping this in mind, keeping this in heart, everyone relax your body, enjoy breathing, quieten your mind, appreciate your own health, and share some of your strength with Vijay and Vijay's wife and Vijay's son. Sahana Vavatu. May all be safe. As you develop, comes from thinking. Thinking comes from loving, and loving comes from contemplating. And the reverse is true also. Whatever I contemplate on, I start to love, I start to think about this, I start to develop into this. This flow goes both ways. Bhagavad Gita is encouraging us, urging us to develop into divinity, to contemplate on divinity, both ways. When this is Eva, when the purpose of your day, the purpose of your life is divinity alone, this is referred to as Sadhya Mukti, instant freedom. And this is also the purpose of your day, the purpose of your life. Not Eva, rather Api. This is referred to as Krama Mukti, not instant freedom, timely freedom. And the next set of verses, they begin to describe this time. In verse 16, Sri Krishna shared articles, beings, and circumstances. They are subject to time unconditionally. It does not matter what article, what being, what circumstance you identify with, what combination and permutation of these there are, they're subject to time. Relatedly, divinity is unconditionally beyond time. There's no touching of divinity by time. The more we understand this, the more we shift our dependence from that which is ever changing to that which is never changing. Articles, beings, and circumstances are dependent. So they're undependable. And the more you forget this, you depend on them, we become undependable, but more so we become insecure. The less we depend on articles, beings, and circumstances, the more we depend on that which is independent. That which is dependable, we become more secure. The next series of verses are highly technical. And so we'll gloss over the technicality and focus on the practice. Verse 17. Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyad brahmano viduhu ratrim yuga sahasrantam teho ratra vido janaha. I'm reading the translation for you. Again, highly technical. Those people who know the day of Brahma. Please note how I'm saying this. Brahma, long A. That means relative creator. That does not mean infinite. Which ends in 1,000 yugas. And the night, which ends in 1,000 yugas, they know day and night. Clear? Okay. Over the next set of mornings relating to these verses, I'm going to dissect yugas, these periods of time in different ways. Okay? These are very reflective dissections. Please reflect. The word yuga is similar to the word yoga. Yuga comes from the root yuj. Yuj means to unite, like yoga means to unite. In this context, the implication is we are united to time, time is united to us. We are subject to time, time is subject to us too. And I'll share more about that soon. In our culture, in our science, there are 4 yugas. I'm going from the last to the first because the last is the most relevant to us. The last period of time is known as Kali. It is 432,000 years long. Briefly, Kali means selfishness. Do you agree that we're living in this period? Prior to Kali Yuga was Dwapara Yuga. Dwapara, which is twice as long as Kali. So that puts us at 864,000 years. Prior to this, Treta Yuga, which is 3 times as long as Kali. Dwa, Tri. So that puts us at 1,296,000 years. And the first period of time is known as Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga. And I am fond of this word Krita. Krita means completion. The period of time where all were secure. This is 4 times as long as Kali. So that puts us at 1,728,000 years. If you add all of these yugas together, the time is 4,320,000 years. 4320000. These 4 yugas combined are known as a Mahayuga. Mahayuga. Big numbers, no? Some of you are 18 years old. Here I'm talking about 432,000 years. But I'm not done yet. Shri Krishna is not done yet. Please keep in mind, these lengths of time will apply to all those who live for divinity also, not alone. Also. In this verse, what is shared is this 4.32 million years constitutes 1 day of Brahma. And I mean day means daytime. So multiply this by 1,000. He has 1,000 daytimes. So for us, that's 4,320,000,000 years. But if there's a daytime, there's a nighttime too, correct? So multiply that by 2. So now our total is 8,640,000,000. If you don't get enlightened in this lifetime, and your strategy is to also live for divinity, one will go on for at least, this is a minimum number, 8,640,000,000 years. That's unimaginable. What Sri Krishna is trying to impress upon Prince Arjuna and all of us is that change and time, they are related. We often are unable to internalize that all is changing. So now he's refocusing this in terms of time, encouraging us to be more reflective on what are you doing with your life? Usually when adults tell that to children, it's in terms of their professions. What are you doing with your life? But even those parents are going to change. The profession is going to change. This is much more authentic and deep relating to purpose. This science, this language is so profound. The word Jagat, which in English means multiverse, the etymology of this word is Jayate, Gacchati, Tishtati. That which is born, that which goes, yet it appears like it's staying. Isn't the multiverse changing? Hasn't the James Webb telescope showed us that? Bringing this closer. The English word for society is samsara. Samsarati. That which is ever slipping. Hasn't the condition of the EU showed us that? Britain comes out, Britain wants to come back in. Turkey says Finland and Sweden can come. Sometimes we don't really know if they're going to allow them to come. It's changing. Bringing this even closer. Tell me a Sanskrit word for body. Share in the chat a Sanskrit word that starts with D. deha, which comes from the root deh, which means to burn. This body is always burning and eventually will finally burn. I've realized this quite intimately in the sense of now that I've completed my chaplaincy course, I've started to jog outside, and I may be as fast as I was last year, but I'm finding it harder to cool down now. As the body gets older, I find homeostasis takes longer. It is changing. If you have a choice to invest in that which is changing or unchanging, why would you invest in that which is changing? And you do have that choice. The changing is called preya. We become praise to change in time. And the unchanging is called shreya. There is only peace there. One more reflection. I'm reading Pujya Swami Chinmayananda's writings. From the above, it has been logically concluded in the philosophy of the Hindus that time is truly the measure of the interval between two different experiences. The greater the number of experiences that flood the mind to agitate it, the slower will the time move. While the longer the same experience continues, the faster moves the time. In a single given experience, there is no perception of time, just as there is no concept of distance when there is only one point. Distances can be measured only between two or more points. Did you all understand that? I'll simplify marginally more. In Advaita, or oneness, there's no space, there's no time, there is only infinity, presence, being. From inspiration to application, your application was to execute the contract you have made with Rishi Vyasa. Are you still executing this contract? He's going to sue you if you don't. That suing is internal. You will feel more stress, more anxiety and dejection. But if you follow the contract, you'll feel more free. The application for today is similar. In the first 24 hours of the release of the Prithvi Seva Guide, we had around 80 seekers who downloaded this guide and started to follow it. My dream is by Monday, when we continue with Bhagavad Gita, that every seeker in Meaningful Mornings would have downloaded this and is following this. So from 80 to 250. Okay? Please help my dreams come true. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.